Started from the dust on the throne shake. Every single loss turns stone weight. Pressure on my chest, but I breathe slow. Colder than the rest, that's the steel glow. Rise up on the prize, never blink twice.
How you
Paid the
doing?
heavy price, now the
Good
chain
morning. Hello,
eyes.
mommy.
Darts in the cup, but I
Hello,
stand
ma.
tall. When they hear the knock, they already fall. Shadows stepping through the red light. Silent killing in the midnight. Crowd is watching every move tight. Let the bass drop, let it feel right. Numbers on the board, I don't speak much. Every step I take, got a mean touch. Heat is getting close, but I stay frost. Built it from the lows, never pay cost. F minor running deep in the bloodstream. Woke up from a sleep, now it's all dream. Let the speakers break, let the walls bend. Shadow on the pavement till the world ends.
More compass.
Shadow stepping, silent killer in the midnight.
Now we're at the steps.
Let the bass drop, let it feel right.
I don't know, that's probably alright, isn't it? Hello. Nice to see you. It's a little bit windy, so if you can hear the wind, very sorry about that. It is 1:20 on Friday. Tomorrow we have carnival. I'm going as Puss in Boots because we're doing a Shrek themed group, which is very exciting, which is quite fun. Oh, so I've had a surprising morning, really. I had a surprising, day so far. So I was just sort of just kind of minding my own business, kind of at my desk, just not really doing much, really. And then I had this excruciatingly high-pitched squeal, but even higher and louder, and just, gave me such a headache. And I was like, I know this sound pretty well. And this isn't anything to do with my head, anything to do with my ear. This is someone is trying to talk to me. A spirit, maybe a ghost or some sort of entity, don't really know. But so I was like, okay, so I lit a candle. There is an ant on my camera. Ant, my camera is not a good place to live. No, it's not. Don't go in there. I can get you out, but don't go in. Anyway, so I was like, okay, so I lit a white candle, put that there right in front of me. I was like, okay, hello, and I got just a notepad, and there's nowhere to go. He's really trying to get in, but is he going to go on the lens in a minute? He might do. This is so fascinating to watch. I'm so sorry you can't see it, but he's literally on the camera right now, so I can't show you. Oh yeah. Anyway, so I got a pen, I got my notepad out. It was a felt tip pen, so I knew that it was going to go for a while. And the energy, it felt quite nice, quite friendly, didn't seem very daunting at all. Oh, hello, woodlouse. And this is a lovely tree, by the way. Hello, tree. By the way, just put my camera on. You didn't say hello. Rude of me. Sorry, tree. Hello. How you doing today? I'm liking you. I always like all trees, but thank you very much for holding my camera for me. But yes, God, my brain's erratic. Anyway, I'm outside right now because my mum was like, go get some sunshine. I know I'm in the shade right now, but at least it's fresh air. Anyway, so got my pen and paper out. And I held it in a way where I did a seance last year, and so I kind of know how to hold. You don't want to hold the pen hard, you kind of just want to have it so the spirit can move your hand. And it did. It really did. It drew a face. It drew its face, a smiley friendly face, definitely think masculine, just by the drawing and the energy I was getting. It felt very masculine, didn't feel very feminine. And it kept circling the head, but it was a little bit confusing. I need to work on my questions, I think, because I said, do you have hair, or are you, because it drew its face and I was like, okay, do you have any hair, or are you bald, kind of thing. And it just circled its head and I was like, do you have short hair? And it just kept circling. I was like, okay, I think it's bald, or it's a head injury, or it's like a halo. I'm not entirely sure what it is. Definitely a more youthful energy. It's not an old person. I'll show you the drawing in a bit. Or maybe I'll have a photo and put it on the screen at some point. I don't know. You'll know. I don't know yet. But yes, it was really definitely had a youthful energy to it. But it drew a face, and it's it was just so, oh my gosh, it was incredible. It was just so clearly a face, and I was like, okay. And either, I don't know, it's either they're bald or they hurt their head. That's the vibe I'm getting, really, is that they had a big head injury. And then, but I'm not entirely sure. I did even ask, because at first, do you wear hats? And it just kept circling. I was like, okay, I don't think it's a hat at all. I think it is to do with the head. I don't know what. So it's either they're bald, have very short hair, or, which I'm thinking might be the most likely thing, is that they had a head injury and that's how they died. But they're definitely young. Definitely such a young, youthful vibe. So I then asked them to, write an initial, like their first initial, and they sort of did, and I'm not entirely sure if it's an L or an I, an N, maybe an A. Not entirely sure. It was like a down and an up, and it kind of has not too sure what letter it was. But then and that's where I got the youthful verb. Was like, maybe they don't actually know how to spell their name. So then I asked, do you know how to spell your name? And I went to the yes, and I was like, what happened was I didn't actually have yes or no written down. I was like, actually, just give me 1 minute. Right, so this corner of the page is yes, that corner over there is no. And it just immediately, at the moment I said, it just went yes. I was like, okay, cool, you understand that. And it's crazy having your hand move, not in your control. Like, obviously I could just stop, but obviously I was letting it flow through, and it's just crazy. Like, I remember doing the seance, we were all just being like, this does just move by itself. I'm not doing this. And it was just this face that was drawn. I was like, I did not draw that face. I did not do that. It was something moved my hand to draw that. It's such a strange feeling, but it's like it really does remind you that your body, this physical body that we have, is just our vehicle. It is literally just a vehicle. Like, you're not actually that attached to your body. You're really not. Anyway, this gave me very exciting, because it was just such a random, hi, I'm here, I want to talk. It wasn't like I was trying to communicate to anyone. It wasn't like I wasn't asking, is anyone here? It was just like, hi, I'm right here, I want to talk to you, right in my ear. And I was like, okay. It was crazy. It was just such like a, hi, I'm here, let me talk to you. It was mental. Anyway, but yeah, and so then, I went straight to yes, and to where I said yes was, and I was like, okay, cool, you completely understand what I'm saying then. And so then I said, do you know how to spell your name? And she went, shh. So circled the yes, and I was like, okay, can you spell me your name? And it just went to me, like a bit like, kind of just went off, not to the no, but it wanted to go off the paper, and I could tell, but I was like, oh no, we got to stay on the paper. So I put it back on the paper, and I think that's when it started to be like peter out a little bit. And I was like, well, can you tell me your name? And it just went straight back to where it had written the initial, but I'm not entirely sure what letter it's written, that's the thing. And then it kind of went to the no and faded off, and I was like, I gave it a good while for it to come back, and I was like, listen, I'm going to count down from 5. If you don't move the pen, I'm going to assume we're going to end this. And I counted down from 5, and there was just nothing. I could feel that my hand was just my hand now, and I was like, there's nothing here now. So then I got my tarot cards out just to get a bit more information, because all I had was a face. All I have is this face and like this male vibe and a young man vibe. or, you know, a boy or whatever. That was the vibe I got, and that's literally all I had to go off. But they understood me, I knew that for sure, and they drew themselves. It was a nice smiley face, and I was just like, okay, cool, right. Okay, so I asked the tarot cards, and the card that came out was the 5 of Cups, and that is quite a, you're not quite looking at it the right way, or it might not be what you expect it to be. You might not, it's like, don't look for it in just one specific way. It could show up to you in a different way. It's kind of like, it's not what you expect. And then also the 4 of Wands is also kind of similar. So it's a bit different, obviously, because the cards have different things, but it's kind of similar of looking at things differently. It's not quite what I expect. Like, this person didn't really, this spirit, this entity, what, you know, didn't really want to tell me about them. They just drew their face, but they understood me, because I was like, this is where yes, and they were like, yes. I was like, cool, got this. I was like, yes, I understand what you're saying, kind of thing. I think they might have gone a little bit pissed off with me, like, because I'm being slow or whatever. That's true, that right? No, I think there's a dead branch over there and it's just creaking, and I was like, what? But yeah, so that's been my morning. I've just been communing with spirits. Don't really know why, but they just really want to say hi. And then, yeah, I also asked my pendulum, you know, is there a message for me? And I was like, no. I was like, did they just want to say hi? And I was like, yes. This spirit just wanted to say hi. And now I've got a portrait of a spirit, you know, and I'm just like, okay, cool. So now I've got a little folder, and yeah, the folder's in there now, and there we are. That's that. That's that. Just got this picture of spirit, and, you know, there's a chance it's my friend who died 9 years ago, because he's a young man. He was in a car accident, and they did say that what killed him was his chest, was that the steering wheel his chest hit the steering wheel so hard that it just stopped. He died, like, sort of instantly. His girlfriend luckily survived, just had a couple broken bones and massive amounts of trauma. But no, it said that he died instantly with, like, his chest smashing the steering wheel. And I'm wondering, did he hit his head as well? But, like, that wasn't like everyone just said it was his chest on the steering wheel. It crushed his heart, kind of thing, crushed his chest, and that's what killed him. But now I'm thinking, like, maybe he did also have a head injury, and that's what he feels like was actually what killed him. I don't know, but it could be a different person. But, like, the initial he wrote could be an A, and I was asking the pendulum, like, is this Ashley? And it was kind of like giving me, yeah, it could be vibes. It didn't. I feel like it might have been Ashley, and he just wanted to say hi. And then I have this, like, bag of, like, silver charms, and this one, and winter, so, like, these wintry symbols. So there was a Christmas tree, pair of mittens, that kept showing up. He died on the 27th of December, so just after Christmas, and it was that the sun there was just imagery of, so I have a few different suns, like, symbols of the sun, and they were all face down, and, like, oh yeah, it's like you don't see the sun anymore. But it was the winter, lots of winter things showing up again, and he did die in the winter, and that would explain the wintry, Christmassy imagery that he kept bringing out. And then the sun being down, face down, be like dead. You know, I think that's quite a good symbol for, I don't see the sun anymore. Like, I'm in the ground, I don't see the sun. The sun's gone from me now because, you know, he's not alive. I feel like it was a person, but they didn't want to tell me. They didn't want to really give that much identifying things away. Like, I was like, are you a boy? Are you a girl? Are you a man? Are you a woman? And there was nothing. I was just like, nothing. It's like, great, can you tell me what your hair looks like or something? Like, I can see that your face, you look like a man, you look male to me. It was a very masculine face. it was an incredible drawing. Like, it was a proper, like, you know, one line drawing. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is, you know, we get taught that kind of thing in year 7, like how to draw like your face without lifting the pen. And, you know, so I don't know, but that was my morning of just a random spirit wanting to randomly just say hi, bye. That was it. I think they were literally there for like, literally with me for like 6 minutes or 5 minutes. Like, it was just such a short encounter. But they just drew this face. And then they just kept circling the head. But like, I don't know if it was hair, whether they were bald, whether they had a hat. I don't think they had a hat. Because when I was like, oh, maybe it's a flat cap. And I was like, no, it didn't give it. No, it wasn't a flat cap. It was, they just kept circling the head. I'm like, so I think maybe they had very, very short hair that were almost bald. And my mum also got this child vibe from it. So it's like, maybe it's a young child. And that's why I kept asking, like, do you know how to spell your name? Because I was like, if a child, and they were like, yes, I know how to spell my name. I'm like, okay, cool. You're just not spelling it for me. It'd be great if you could just spell it for me. You know? Anyway, I think, yeah, anyway. But it definitely, yeah, that was my morning. And I thought I would come tell you about it because it's been an interesting morning. But yeah, it's 1:30 now. So I'm just going to walk up here and probably walk back down. And then pick Willow up soon from school. But actually I've got like an hour and a quarter till I need to be at the school. So I've got a bit of time. So let's go for a little walk and think a little bit about what the hell was this morning about. You know, like, why did they want to say hello so badly? It was really weird though, because like I was on watching TikTok, and my TikTok is just kind of like witchy stuff. So obviously I might have been maybe just, you know, because I must have just been like expanding my psychic vibes because of these videos I was watching, you know. And then yeah, suddenly pang, ping, 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 pang, pong, right in my right ear. God, it was so painful. It was so painful. I was like, all right, let's have a chat then. And they just drew me a picture. They just drew me their face, and I was like, okay. No distinguishing features except for the fact male, and might not even be male, but it gives a male vibe, and definitely youth, young. So, but they definitely know how to spell their name. I was sure about that. But it was so interesting. If you can go to a seance, like if you've never done anything like this before, go to a seance. Don't do it by yourself first time. I've been speaking to ghosts and spirits since I was a very, very small child. Like as young as Willow, younger than Willow even, you know. So the long grass is housing homes to creatures right now, and there was a bird just by there. Oh, there it is. Did you see it? It's moved a bit. Ah, there it is. That little, right there. There it goes. There we are. But yeah. So I kind of know how to like kind of keep myself protected. I've been doing witchcraft for 11 years now. I was 16 when I properly started doing witchcraft, like learning, you know, divination and protection and all that sort of stuff. I've been doing that since I was 16 now, so that's 11 years ago. My God. But you know, I've been accidentally dabbling in the paranormal and the spiritual since I was a child, you know. Yesterday though, so my nephew, he's almost 1, and we're in the dining room, and you can see the stairs really well, and the stairs are a really good spot to see ghosts and spirits. I often see them on the stairs, or I'm coming down the stairs and I see one. Anyway, we were at the dining table, and he was sat where I normally sit, actually. It was by there. And we all noticed he had noticed something, and his mum, my sister, was like, oh, what did you see? And I was like, he's just seen a ghost. I didn't say that out loud, but in my head I was like, he's just seen a ghost on the stairs, because that's the exact face I pull when I've seen one. And I was talking about it with my mum today, and she thought the exact same thing. I was like, yeah, no, he saw a ghost, he's got the sight for sure. He's very observant, very calm as well, which is really good combination for just naturally seeing them. Like, everyone does have the natural, can do it, it's just that it's easier for some than others. But no, Gwyd, my 11-month-old nephew, definitely saw a ghost yesterday. So that's quite exciting. And then some random spirit wanted to say hi to me today, and I have no idea who it is. Not a clue, because I'm like, if it was an L, maybe it was Leonard, who he died in World War II, like in the war. He didn't die at the time, he died in the war. He was killed in the war, killed fighting, that sort of thing. And could be him. And maybe he had a head injury and that's what actually killed him. Right, I'm going to turn around now because I'm at the end of this path. So I don't know, could be Leonard, because he was kind of around my age, I think, when he died, maybe even younger, you know, similar to around my age, but he died fighting in the war. I can't remember, I don't really know what, like whether he was shot or what, blown up, I'm not entirely sure, sunk on a ship, I don't know. But I didn't work it out. I know about that because a few years ago, it was either the June 17th or July 17th, I can't quite remember, I have it written down in a book. And I was walking down the stairs and there's this one ghost, Fred, which was Leonard's dad. I saw Fred as a ghost, like running up the stairs, manic, like, oh my god, like, and like you can feel the energy, you know, like if you just got told, like say your friend just got told that their son died, and you know the energy that would just come off of them of like, oh my god, you know, like, oh my god, my son, you know, my child, even though they're an adult, but like, oh my god, they died, you know. It was the anniversary of the day he died that this goat, that Frederick, was like manically running up the stairs. It was the anniversary of Leonard's death, because I looked it up and it was like recorded death this day, and it was the same date as when I saw Frederick the ghost running frantically up the stairs, completely distraught. Freaking mental. So that's how I found out that Leonard died during the war, and the day he died, or at least the day they got told. I'm not entirely sure, like I don't know all the details. God, look at this, 1 minute. Ain't it pretty? But yeah, oh, 1 minute, I need to zoom you out, don't I? Oh, this valley is quite pretty once you get up high, I must say. But yeah, so it could be, maybe it was Leonard, because he was young, male, he might have had a head injury and that's what killed him, you know. I don't know, I need to somehow look into it, but I don't know. Yeah, or it was Ashley, or it was someone else, but I feel like it was a young male. That's really the energy I got from it, but it didn't want to tell me, and I did even ask, like, do you have no gender, are you genderless, and didn't answer to that either. So so yeah, I don't know, they didn't want to tell me, they didn't want to give that information up, they just wanted to say hi. I don't think they particularly wanted to chat, they just wanted to say hi, and they drew their face and gave me their initial. So that was that. It was literally in the middle of the day, it was literally like, yeah, it was like 11:30 this morning. Bloody random ghost comes and pops up. I'm like, okay, hi. random spirit. You know, I don't know if it's a ghost because I don't know if it is a person that's died, or if it's a different kind of entity, a different kind of spirit. I don't know. This is what I wanted to know. I was like, I don't know if you're actually from a human. You know, is the ant still on this actually? No. The ant has climbed off, that's good. Hopefully I didn't drop him, he'll be fine. But yeah, so that's what, like, I don't actually know if it was a human entity, like derived from a human. Like, was it a different kind of spirit? I don't know, which is the thing. So I was a little bit like, I don't know, but I was very much like, goodbye, 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 even though I think they left me before I said goodbye, you know. But yeah, it was just kind of, a peculiar morning, really. I mean, I wanted to get back into witchcraft because I haven't really done it since I had my tarot reading on the phone tarot reading. I didn't like that job. I felt like I was betraying tarot. I felt like I was betraying myself and my beliefs by doing it on the phone, because I couldn't always hear what the people on the other end of the phone were saying and asking. And I very much, you know, whenever I have done tarot readings for other people, it's very much, I kind of look at their face, I look in their eyes, try to, you know, I take the energy kind of like, you know, get the energy that way, not through voice. I do it through, because I used to, when I was first practicing, I used to do it silent. I'd be like, don't tell me your question, don't tell me what you asked, just think it, and I'm going to look into your eyes and it's going to, you know, do that. So that's how I used to read tarot, and now I'm like, no, just ask a question about it. But and it was always kind of accurate, just without me even knowing the question, because I've only ever really done tarot for people that I know. Like, I did tarot for a good bit for a few people when I did my art foundation when I was 19 years old, and I was still very much learning then, so I wasn't amazing then, but like, yeah. Anyway, but then I did a fair bit for my sister. I used to do quite a few for my sister. So I think if I was to, like, because I would quite like to do it, like tarot and like oracle reading, that kind of thing, as a job. Like, I think I would enjoy that, but I think I'd have to be like, no phone calls. I have to be able to see your face, or like a text. I could do it through text probably, because I could take my time. But on a phone call, it was like I kind of had to, you know, deliver quickly. So I felt a bit fraudulent on the phone. But, you know, some of them were good. Some of them I was like, yeah, this is correct. And then sometimes I would do reading on this phone call and I'd be like, this is completely inaccurate. I don't even know what this is trying to say. The cards didn't know what they were saying because I didn't know what the question was. I didn't know. And like, you can't just be there on the phone being like, don't give me the question, just think about it, because I don't fucking know who they are. I don't know them and I can't see them. You have to give something, but for me, voice isn't great. Like, I mean, it wasn't bad, I could do it, but only if I could hear them clearly, and a lot of the time I couldn't hear them clearly. Oh, it's I've got a whole hour. I was like, oh god, it's 1:45. No, I have a whole other hour. Another hour till I need to go pick her up. But yeah, so that was that. And I'm like, I've always been able to talk to ghosts and spirits, and I thought, well, maybe I should, you know, really practice and harness my mediumship skills, because they are very naturally there and it is a skill that I have. And you know, I just did it today off the cuff because there was a spirit who wanted to talk to me, so I was like, okay, hi, let's talk to you then. You know, it was bizarre. I've been a bit out of it, to be honest, since. Oh no, I've been out of it for a few days, to be honest. Being out of it is separate to ghosts and stuff. It's just me not knowing what to do with myself. So the ghost gave me something to think about. The spirit, not the ghost. The spirit gave me something to do, something to think about. But I don't know if it's a human spirit. I don't know if it's actually a dead person. It could be something else, but I don't know what else. So, but they drew a human face. You know, they drew a human face. So it could well be a human. They just didn't want to give me much information. They literally just wanted to say hi. I don't know. Oh, it's getting windy. I love wind. I do love a bit of wind. It's not cold, this wind, actually. It's a nice summer wind. It's been a very windy year. It hasn't stopped being windy all year, and I normally love wind because normally in the autumn it gets really windy, and I love it because it's like, oh, it's the autumn, you know, that you have, you know, Samhain, which is, you know, like the death and the start, death and the birth of the new year and everything like that, and you have wind and it like blows away all the old energy and blows in the new, and yeah, but it's been windy all year, and that's just unsettling then, because it's like just constant change of air. It's like, can you stop please just for a minute? Let me catch my breath. But look how pretty. So I've been recording for like 30 minutes. I'm gonna end this chat here. And I will show you. I'll show you the drawing that Spirit did, but I'll also like talk about it as well, and then end the video. So keep watching for a minute. And thanks for watching very much. But just stay around if you want to see the drawing, and I'll talk to you through it. Yeah. Bye. So it is a few days later now, and yeah, this is it. So you can very, very clearly see the face there. That was yes down there, that was no. Yeah, but what a great face. And you can see here like the lot circling the head bit. But then, so it's been about a week since I filmed the rest of this video. Since then, I was able to communicate to another. So that's a face. You can see the two circles there, they're eyes. And that's a smile, I do believe. And that was the yes. Very well used. And that's the no. And there's Hatsune Miku that she did not like. But yes. So, isn't it such a good face? And like, let me pop these down here. You can see that like this ghost has pretty good drawing skills, when this one did not really care too much. Like, I had to really ask for eyes. I had to really ask for eyes. So this was Patricia, and this one I don't know the name of. Yeah, I wrote all this stuff down, and then yeah, I know that this one is Patricia. We got that name because she actually wrote, so here it starts there, it goes up, and it was before she had done all this, but it was actually the letter P. And yeah, we got to Patricia. She has kids, she died of old age, kind of thing. This is what I was able to get. Doesn't like Hatsune Miku, not enough clothes. I think she's Georgian, which, you know, is actually the same time our house was built, my house was built. But yes, so there we go.